A lot of folks think that once you're under contract for a house, you can kind of sit back and relax, but this is where a lot of things can potentially go wrong since there are so many moving parts in a real estate transaction. And as a realtor, I've unfortunately seen some of these mistakes happen in real life, and it has caused a lot of stress, drama, fear, anxiety, and all sorts of other emotions that are out there. So today I'm going to be sharing with you the 5 things you should not do while under contract for your new home. And mistake number 4 is something that comes as a shock to a lot of people when I tell them not to do this. So stick around for that one. But if we have not met yet, my name is Brock and I sell new construction homes all over San Antonio and the surrounding areas. So if you have questions about buying a new build house, or if you need help buying a new build house, I'm here to answer any questions, help set up some appointments so we could go tour some of these in person, or just be a resource for you, however that may be and look for you. So if you have any questions or want help buying a house in San Antonio, feel free to reach out via phone call, text, or email. I've got all my contact information down below and I would love to hear from you guys. But let's go ahead and dive on into some of these mistakes because I got some stuff I want to share with you and I don't want you to miss it. Now, the first mistake I'm going to be sharing with you is probably one that you've heard before, especially if you've already purchased a house in the past. This first mistake here is, of course, making any large purchases. Now, once you apply to a lender, they do have some monitoring happening with your bank accounts, and no, they're not looking at it every day. They're just looking for any large purchases and, anything that could go wrong. They're also looking at your credit history and making sure that you're not opening any new accounts. So a lot of people in the past have gotten really excited about their new house and they go out furniture shopping and they're looking for the new bedroom set, the new dining room set, and the living room furniture and all of the fun stuff to decorate and fill their house with all their furniture and make it truly theirs. While that is very exciting, this can cause a major issue on your credit score and your credit history there, right? And this happens because a lot of the loan products out there have something called a debt to income ratio. I'm not going to get into the details of what a debt to income ratio or what each loan type has at this moment, but know that there is a certain percentage that you need to be on for the debt to income ratio. And sometimes folks are very close to that line and they just barely meet the requirements for that loan product. However, if you go out there and buy, let's say the new furniture for the house and put it on credit, that could increase your, debts there, and your income isn't increasing most likely. So it's going to potentially push you over the limit for your debt to income ratio, and therefore you wouldn't qualify for that loan anymore. Now, in the past, I have seen some of my clients go out and purchase new cars. That is also a big no-no. I know a lot of folks are saying, hey, I've got the new house, let me go get the new car. And so once they're under contract, they go car shopping. But my advice to you is do not make any big purchases, whether it's furniture, appliances, a new vehicle, or anything else of that nature until after you've already closed on the house. Because these lenders, what happens is, of course, like I mentioned already before, they are monitoring your bank accounts, your credit, and all that fun stuff until the day of closing. And they usually do a final check on all of those items the day of closing to make sure that you are still employed, your credit history hasn't changed, and that your bank accounts are still active and there. So that is the first mistake there. And of course, it is probably one that's more commonly known, but I want to share with you so that if you haven't heard it, of course, you can make sure to not make that mistake while you're under contract. Now, the second mistake here is something I've seen happen to one of my clients in the past, and it's changing jobs or your income sources. So please, if you're under contract for a house, please do not change jobs or your employment type, as this can throw some red flags to lenders. Whenever you apply with a lender, you of course are providing pay stubs, bank statements, or whatever it may be to prove that you have income coming in every single month, and they use this to verify you at that time. Now, they will check it again multiple times, and usually it happens, sometime in the beginning and once right before closing. And if you change jobs, quit a job, or if you get a promotion, that can throw up a red flag to the lender and really cause some issues and or delays in the mortgage process there. See, they've already approved you at the beginning with whichever income type and source you've already provided them. They've verified it, they are okay with it. And if you change to a new job, usually that is the case, then you don't have a whole lot of tenure with that new company, especially in recent times if it's already an employee you've already worked with. However, these lenders are wanting to make sure that you have consistent income and nothing drastic is going to happen. So if you are in a position where it is completely unavoidable to change jobs or income sources, please just verify with your lender, talk with them and let them know what's going on so that they can anticipate that change and get the process started so that they can re-verify your income and minimize the delays on the back end. It is best to just stay with your current job until after closing and then take any new job opportunities once you've already closed on the house. All right, so in that first mistake, I mentioned not to make any large purchases, but what should you do about your current debts that you have? Well, mistake number 3 is to not miss any payments on your current debt that you do owe or take on any new debt. And what I mean by this is if you have credit card payments or if you have a vehicle loan or if you already currently have a mortgage on a property, please do not miss any of those payments on any of those items, because just missing one payment can lower your credit score and it could completely change the terms of your loan. Whenever these lenders take on your loan application and look at everything, of course, you have your credit score score at that point in time. But if you happen to miss a payment on a credit card or another line of credit that you have, this could lower your credit score to a less desirable position in the lender's eyes, and that could increase your interest rate and make you have to pay more on your monthly payments. Also, something I have seen happen here is where people help co-sign for a vehicle or help another individual purchase a house or open a credit card or something of that nature. That also can, drastically affect your approval on the mortgage application and should be discussed with your lender if you are in a position where that needs to happen before you purchase your new house. So here, please just make sure to pay all of your bills on time, as you've probably been doing. Sometimes people forget about automatic payments, or maybe, need to move some funds around and forget one time. Please just make sure to stay on top of all of your current finances. And again, just do not take on any new debt that could potentially affect your credit history and your credit score and make you look less favorable in the eyes of the lender. All right, if you stuck with me this far, thank you. I know in the beginning I mentioned that this next mistake here, mistake number 4, is one that a lot of folks typically overlook or don't even think about. But mistake number 4 here is to not make any large deposits or transfers between your bank accounts or among your bank accounts without talking to your lender first. Again, like I've mentioned before, these lenders do have ways to track and monitor your bank accounts during the escrow process. So if a lender happens to see a large deposit or a large withdrawal, they're going to raise some red flags, and they're going to be asking questions of, why did you take this money out, or where did this large sum of money come from? Because they really need to be able to verify where this money come from. Sometimes if you are pulling money from like a 401k and into your savings or checking account so that you can use that as a down payment or to cover your closing costs, that is okay. But please, talk to the lender ahead of time and let them know what you're planning to do and when you're planning to do it, so that they can keep, that information on top of their mind or in their notes, and they're not going to be asking you several extra questions. Sometimes they will require some additional documentation to really prove that, hey, I did pull out this money from my 401k and put it into my checking account so that I could use it as a down payment. They just really need to know that it's just not, mattress money or, money that you've just been stocking away into a shoebox for, the last decade. So they really just want to know the true source of the funds to mitigate any issues there. So just be mindful and cognizant of any large transfers or withdrawals that need to be made, or let your lender know again. So that is one of those things that sometimes people don't think about, but it is good to know. All right, so mistake number 5 is not so much a financial thing that you should be considering like mistakes 1 through 4, but mistake number 5 is, neglecting to communicate with your lender and or the agent during your transaction process. See, everyone in a real estate transaction has a lot of deadlines to meet. Everyone from the title company, the lender, you as the buyer, and even the real estate agent all have various deadlines and tasks to be completed in timely fashion throughout the escrow process to make it move as smoothly as possible. So if you happen to get an email, text, phone call, or whatever it may be, requesting some additional information or documentation or just an explanation on something during the process, please respond in a timely manner. We're not asking you to respond immediately, because we know you have jobs and lives that attend to, but just respond in a reasonable time so that everything can keep moving smoothly and happen in a timely fashion, so that you don't have any delays, or even just to minimize the delays in the escrow process. I know it can be stressful, so helping to minimize delays by getting the information to the lender and or the real estate agent in a timely fashion will help minimize those delays along the way. All right, y'all, those are the 5 mistakes that I wanted to share with you today. So avoiding these mistakes here can actually help make sure that you actually get those keys to the house and in a timely fashion, because the last thing I want you to do is get under contract for a house after all the long journey of searching and getting approved and ready for it, and just to lose it because you bought a new car or got excited and bought the furniture. But I would love to hear from you guys which one of these mistakes was the most surprising to you, or if you're willing to share, did you make any of these mistakes yourself that maybe cost you the house or caused some delays? Either way, please drop your comments down below. I would love to hear from you guys. And while you're dropping those comments, if you haven't already, if you could please give me a thumbs up and like the video, and while you're there, hit that subscribe button and tap the bell icon so that you'll be the first to know whenever I post another video about buying a house here in San Antonio, going on a home tour, or whatever other information I'm sharing with you guys. I truly appreciate each and one of your time. And if you are thinking about buying a new house here in San Antonio, I would love to be a resource for you and help you make that next purchase. So please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I've got all my contact information down below. But thanks again for watching this video, and I can't wait to talk to you guys soon.